Marijuana, when did you start using marijuana?
As a teen, I was self-medicating.
How old were you?
15.
This says 14 in the pre-sentence report.
15.
Where were you getting marijuana from at 14 years of age? I'm sorry?
My cousins.
Your cousins gave it to you? Well, what are families for? In good shape. 23 CR 1738 is now called. And how do you pronounce your first name? Mahogany. Okay, Broussard. And you were here with Mr. Lewis, your attorney, pleaded guilty. That was in April to this indictment alleging aggravated assault in 23 CR 173. A pre-sentence report has, well, it's not the only one, is it? There were showing
There's three cases.
three cases. So it was 23 CR 1738, aggravated assault. 23 CR 1739, aggravated assault.
It should be
23 CR
2222. Should be
2222, aggravated assault. There is an outstanding, a fourth case, 23 CR 1740. That was not pleaded to. That's going to be dismissed.
that's correct, Judge.
Okay. All right. So these three cases alleging second degree felonies of aggravated assault with deadly weapons we have proceeded forward on those. You have entered pleas of guilty. And again, Mr. Lewis is here representing you. And pre-sentence reports on each of these have been prepared. Have the parties had an opportunity to review it? Any corrections or changes to it?
No, from the defense. Not from the state, Judge.
All right. What we have here is an agreement in each of these cases of a cap of 8 years imprisonment. So we are looking thus at no less than 2 nor more than 8 years confinement in prison on 1, 2, or 3 of these. A deferred or unadjudicated probation, which can be up to 10 years in length on probation, where the defendant is not found guilty and placed on unadjudicated probation. Then I think that's it, isn't it? Regular probation is not an option with the court since we have a deadly weapon, namely a firearm used in the commission of these crimes. So 2 options there and directions. I have received
You just do that. Huh? You just do that. Well, you just, yeah.
2 notes or letters from one is from Diane Broussard, who is your sister,
16.
and another is from Alicia Broussard, who is going to be your mom, your mother. Okay. Let me just look at this because I just seen just briefly. Have y'all seen a copy of these?
I told him I didn't have any objections to him being in, Judge.
How long have you been in jail now?
8 months.
Oh, it's not from, and it says at the end of one of these, please forgive my sister. It's not for me to do that. That's not, I'm not the one who does that. That's maybe our creator and the victims here in these cases. So the parties have had a chance to review this. Any corrections or changes to this?
No, from the defense. Not from the state.
All right. Then the pre-sentence reports in each case, for each case, which are prepared in one report here, are made a part of the record for all purposes. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Lewis.
Thank you, Judge. Judge, of course, these are some definitely serious cases involved with these aggravated assaults with deadly weapons. Even given that, I do believe that Ms. Broussard is someone whose future is definitely still salvageable. She doesn't have any criminal history. She have been very forthcoming about her involvement in this allegation. It was definitely a situation where it was definitely a family dispute that definitely arose from she had just met her father in January of 23. He passed away in June of 23. This allegation happened in September. So it was basically a situation where she was trying to still maintain relationship with her father's side of the family. And of course, it just did not. I think through the grieving process and everything, I think it was just a situation where they just couldn't get along, which was led up to what happened on this day. She admits that she definitely was intoxicated and under influence of drugs at the time of the offense. She was clearly open with probation, PSI writer, about any substance abuse that she has had. And she has taken on her own initiative to try to get some help that's been available to her by attending AA classes and church while she's been incarcerated there at the county jail. I also see the judge, she has had some mental health diagnosis since she's been there. I believe there is some definite vehicles available through the probation department that she can definitely benefit from going forward. But definitely, to help with her decision making and things of that nature, because even if we see from her educational history that there was some educational developmental issues that she was diagnosed with early on. So a combination of that developmental history plus the mental health history, she'll be able to get that, get help for that, and definitely keep her going on the right track as far as being able to care for her daughter. She has been able to hold the job and keep employed. She definitely wants to continue on with that. She does have some family support, as you see from the letter that came in from her mother and her aunt. Although not physically here today, right now, they had normally been here at each of her other 4 days. And of course, she would like to address the court as far as how she feels as far as about moving forward. But Judge, we definitely are asking that the court could consider placing her on deferred adjudicated probation. I think she does have the motivation that's necessary to complete it successfully and to be able to be someone that we wouldn't have to worry about seeing her here again or any other issue moving forward.
Mm-hmm. State of Texas.
Judge, she's kind of got me in a pickle here, and here's the reason why. She has given some information. As a matter of fact, she told who the shooter was, which is true. That much we know she told the truth about, but she keeps limiting her responsibility in the whole thing. And the reason is she keeps trying to place herself in the back seat when every other witness says she was driving the vehicle. She was driving it earlier that day, and that one of the aggravated assaults was trying to run over somebody with a motor vehicle, and then texting them and telling them she'd be back. And then she came back, and that's when the shooting occurred. So on one hand, she's tried to rectify some of the situation, but on the other hand, she's tried to distance herself from it. And unfortunately, this is part of the problem we have with Jefferson County is this. Everybody solves their problems with guns and these drive-bys and trying to hurt people. And it just puts me in a spot where I have to ask for penitentiary time. So we'd ask for 8 years.
And just to kind of clear, as far as the minimization goes, I think that goes to some of the drug use that on the day in question, which she's openly admitted to, that she definitely was under influence and doesn't remember everything that happened, how it went. But the significant major parts of the of the offense, she has been fully upfront cooperative with law enforcement.
Okay, we've got two indictments where George Mosley is the complainant, and one alleges being the defendant shot this complainant, and then also in another indictment struck the complainant with a vehicle.
Yes, sir.
And then we've got a Britannia Lewis who was shot.
Yes, sir.
Well, confused about it.
Yes, so the automobile happened earlier that day at about 11 o'clock in the morning. That's that last paragraph down there, I think, on the facts of the case. And then shooting occurred later.
Okay, and what's this other person Ford, last name Ford?
Maya Ford was also in the house but did not get shot. They were uninjured.
What did you want to say?
I want to say I apologize for what I committed in the crime. I also apologize for being under the family. I sincerely apologize for the family, the victims that took place. The victims that took place, and all I ask is to correct my wrongs to right. For the past 8 months, I've been sitting in Jefferson County, going to AA, going to church, and going to talking to mental health. I can be outstanding citizens and giving them a chance to prove it.
Okay, what about this drug usage that I keep reading about in here? What's that all about?
I was taking photos and drinking liquor. I was under the influence. I was on the
He
down.
can't hear you and I can't hear you.
I was taking photos and drinking liquor at the time.
I can't hear you.
I was drinking liquor, taking photos, and smoking weed at the time.
Do
That's
you
all
see anything wrong with that?
I do, yes, sir.
Because we have marijuana use. On the marijuana, when did you start using marijuana?
You know, as a teen, I was self-medicating.
How old were you?
15.
This says 14 in the pre-sentence report.
15.
Where were you getting marijuana from at 14 years of age? I'm sorry?
My cousins.
Your cousins gave it to you? Well, what are families for? Oh, that's terrible. They're not supposed to cause you to commit crimes, which is terrible. What about Xanax? When did you start using that?
18.
Okay. How old are you now?
21.
Okay. And this ecstasy, what about that one?
20.
And where are you getting these illegal drugs from? Where?
Like, the South Park, South End area. The South End area. Around Bowling.
They're just there for anybody to purchase, right? Yeah. Well, you don't read about that on the Chamber of Commerce reports because it's something that's shameful. It's criminal, but you know that, right?
Yeah, I was 7.
Okay, so what did you do here in this event where you're charged with all these crimes? What exactly did you do that was wrong?
Be a part of it, not report it. Not apologize.
Okay, so
Be a part of it and not report it.
what was it that was criminal? What was the bad things that happened that you were part of?
The shooting, the drug use, and the car accident.
It looks like this. Tell me about the vehicle, the attempt you did according to this indictment.
Oh my God, busting me.
You're going to interrupt me because she can't take down both of us speaking. Let me see. Okay, in 23 CR 2222, this is the aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The indictment that you pleaded guilty to in April, it states that you intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly caused bodily injury to another person by using an automobile, namely a deadly weapon. So that means you've inferred that, according to this pre-sentence report, that you attempted to run over somebody with the car. That's what you pleaded guilty to under oath, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you see anything wrong with that?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's the way people get killed, right? It's a 4,000 pound missile. And when you run over someone, 4,000 pounds is going to squash them
Yes, sir.
and do terrible tissue damage. Then the other cases, you are accused of shooting this person with a firearm, but you weren't the one holding the firearm, but you knew somebody was with you with the firearms, and you were driving the car, and you were part of. When you're through interrupting, I'll speak. You were part of the whole plan by striking people, going after people to harm them, and you have people with you who were. It was like several people in the vehicle, including someone shooting an assault rifle at others. See, there are approximately 10 bullet holes in the front east side of a home, 3 bullet holes in the south side of the house. My goodness. So we're driving over people. We're shooting at homes. You got to see terrible things. I mean, that's no way to be living in a city, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. And then these drugs, where are you getting these drugs from?
Like a neighbor, or I go to my South Park area. I know I have no intention of using it again.
Well, I know you're saying you are remorseful and you don't have any intention of doing this, but how do you take back what's already been done? You can't undo that, can you? Okay. Well, it has a price that you have to pay. I mean, this is just, my goodness, like terrorism in the middle of the city, which is happening too often. Okay. Well, what's state asking for?
That year's in time.
And Mr. Lewis, go ahead. You can end.
Well, Judge, we're asking that she is placed on deferred adjudication. She's more than willing to file any conditions that the court will deem appropriate, or the court on probation will deem appropriate. In this matter, I think, like I said before, I think it's several vehicles available through probation that she could definitely benefit from to not ever be in a situation like this again. It would help her to not be in a situation like this again. And I think she is one who, like I said before, who I think future is still salvageable. Somebody that can still pick herself up and move on.
All right. Anything else to add here? In conclusion, what the court is looking at here is you are looking at 60 years in prison from all of these cases. You understand? 60 years in prison, because each crime here has its own punishment range. Somehow your attorney has remarkably fashioned a deal where the worst you can get is, the maximum you can get is 8 years in prison, and those are to run concurrently to each other. So he's gone from the exposure of 60 years in prison to 8 years, which is remarkable. But the problem here with your cases and your involvement here is we're using deadly weapons, vehicles, guns, and shooting at homes, driving, hitting people with vehicles on the street. I mean, it's just lawless. It's violent. It's the thing movies are made of, and it shouldn't be in our town. It happens, but when it happens, people have to know when you're going to commit violent acts where people can get killed easily with a deadly weapon, that it has consequences. And you can't say, well, I can always fall back on that deferred probation where I'm going to get probation and not be found guilty. These are bad. This is three, and well, it's actually a fourth case that's going to be dismissed that was indicted, which was another deadly conduct, which is a third-degree felony. I'm going to make the findings as follows, that in each of these cases, and this is 23 CR 1738, 1739, and 2222, you have pleaded guilty voluntarily. You were mentally competent to do so. You understand and appreciate the consequences of pleading guilty. There's sufficient evidence supporting your guilty pleas from State's Exhibit 1 admitted in each of these cases to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And I now find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in these cases. I am following these agreements. You are hereby sentenced to confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to serve a term of 8 years in each case. These will all run concurrently together. In each of these judgments, the judgments will reflect that deadly weapons, namely a firearm, were used in cause numbers 1739 and 1738. And in 2222, a deadly weapon, namely an automobile, was used in the commission of that crime. It's really hard to, this is just terrorism. And it's hard for these violent acts, which it's remarkable that there wasn't a group of people killed. And that's what keeps you from looking at life imprisonment on each event. So it's clear the message we're trying to send is this is clear that this is behavior that is unacceptable, and you can't blame it on voluntary drug use that you elected to